Hello, Downey Unified families. Superintendent Dr. John Garcia here, wanting to provide an update since it's been a few weeks since our last update at the end of September. First and foremost, I want to remind you and I want to share with all of you how much we miss our students, how much we miss our families and seeing everybody on our campuses. This is really hard for all of you and we know that. And I also want you to know this is hard for us too, because we really do miss being able to see our kids every single day. That being said, as a part of our update, I wanted to share with you where we are with the metrics in Los Angeles County and how things are going. Last update, I shared with you that there are several colors of tiers that we are following with the LA County Department of Public Health. We continue to follow those metrics as well. As of now, we're still in the purple tier, which is considered widespread by the County Department of Public Health. We're working toward the red tier, which is the next tier that we would go into, but as of right now, we are not there. We've been following those numbers, and we've been creating some projections of what it looks like before we can transition to the red tier. As of now, we feel it'll be another week or two at least before we can transition into the red tier. And once we transition into the red tier, we have to be in there for 28 days before we can even consider starting schools. Last week, the state added another metric called the equity metric to the colored tier system. In addition to that, last Thursday they added something that we can tap into regarding our geographic boundaries and how cases are going within the Downey community, not necessarily in schools, but within the geographical boundaries of the Downey Unified School District. This last Monday evening, we did a return to school presentation at a Board of Education meeting, and the board assessed all of that data. Looking at that data, we understand that if we are not to move into or consider moving in or able to move into the next tier, which is red, for the next couple of weeks, that takes us well into November. And by the time we get a month later, because we have to be in there for a minimum of 28 days, that takes us until at least the beginning to middle of December. At that point, it becomes very, very challenging to start school right before winter break for just a few days. So, that being said, this last Monday evening, the Board of Education came to a consensus that we would be inviting all of our students or be able to have all of our students back on January 4th, provided we are in the red tier in Los Angeles County at that time. We're very hopeful that we will go into the red tier as soon as possible, that we'll work our way through, and definitely by January 4th that we are well into the red tier and on our way to the orange tier, which is even better. So as of now, I know this news will come as disappointing to some of you. I know it'll come as a relief to others because now you know what to plan for and you have a target date. But I want to make sure that you know and understand that we as a district and the Board of Education did not take this decision lightly. That is something that we continue to follow the metrics, and right now we're not seeing the progress that we need to see in Los Angeles County to get us back in a more rapid, at a more rapid pace than January 4th. We also, in our last update, had talked about evaluating the possibility of small cohorts and a waiver process. After continuing to evaluate the metrics, we feel at this time it's not in the best interest of the district and of our students just because of continuing to be in the purple tier. We want to get closer to that red tier, get deeper into there before we start having our students back en masse on our campus. So, as we look toward January 4th, right now, provided we're in the red tier, our plan is to have a hybrid model for those parents who are interested in having their students come back onto campus at least some days of the week. And we will also maintain a full distance learning model for those parents who are not comfortable sending their children back to school. I want to make sure you know and understand that we will work hard to meet the needs of both of those groups of families because we know that there were those of you who have circumstances and who are not comfortable sending your students back for any length of time. We understand that. We also know there are families out there that want their students to be on campus as much as possible. So we will have both of those options available. As of now, we are continuing to evaluate the parameters of what we can offer for a hybrid instructional program. We have been surveying and doing research on districts in our neighboring counties who have already gone through this process. We know that there are many. There are different models all over the place. We're working hard to evaluate the best way to accommodate our students and families here in Downey Unified. Some basic things that we do know is that we will be able to fit approximately 15 students or so in a classroom at a given time. That's certainly a different structure that we have had in the past, but even a hybrid model, remember, will have a combination of in-person learning for a percentage of the time as well as distance learning, and then our other full distance students will stay on that full distance model. So what I want to share with you is we'll continue to be sending out communications in the coming weeks. Our goal is to be able to get everything to you by mid-November so you can make an informed decision regarding January 4th on what it is that you want to do. We'll be looking at publishing and letting you know what we're offering in regard to a hybrid schedule, detailing the safety protocols as well. And again, by mid-November, we're projecting we'll be asking you for a commitment as to whether you would like to stay in full distance or you are interested in having your student come back in the hybrid model that we will be offering. Please be on the lookout for additional details in the coming weeks. In closing, I want to share with all of you from my heart. This is hard for all of us. And again, I know it's hard on you as a family. I know it's particularly hard on our students as well. It's hard on us as the people who have devoted our lives to educating students, to building future generations. It's a very challenging situation, and there really aren't a lot of great options at this point, but we continue to evaluate everyone and work hard to make it in the best interest of our students. Our Board of Education has been incredibly supportive of what it is we're doing. I really want to thank all of you as our families, as our community, for what it is that you have been doing. Our staff in Downey Unified, our teachers, our classified staff, our principals, our administrators have been absolutely amazing and remain fully committed to doing the best we can. Our kids deserve the best. We really do feel that, and we'll continue to work hard to provide that going forward. And I want to thank every one of you for your grace, your patience, and your flexibility with us. We are working hard to provide the best we can for your students. Thank you, Downey Unified families, and we'll talk soon.